this change your perception of Kawhi?
No, absolutely not. Skip, we saw in that footage, Coach Popovich, I guess it's after a win, and he has his hands on Kawhi's shoulder, and Kawhi was like, I would just wish you'd leave me alone.
You think that's what he's saying?
He's like, he's not even acknowledging him. He's not turning around like, yeah, laughing or smiling. He's straight ahead. This is who Kawhi is. See, Kawhi, and granted, the Spurs do a great job and David Robinson and Tim Duncan, those guys are Spurs lifers, and Kawhi viewed them as the Spurs. He views that anything that I tell David Robinson is going right back to Greg Popovich and R.C. Buford. So why would I talk? And Kawhi's like, bro, you ain't been calling me. We don't talk on the phone. We're not friends like that. So why am I going to talk to you now? And he said it. I've only talked to him a handful of times. And even the times that I've talked to him, I can count on one hand the words that he's spoken back to me. So now with this going on, this is a very intense situation between Kawhi and the Spurs. You expect somebody from the Spurs organization to pick up, and that's what he views David Robinson as. Although he's not has an official, he doesn't have an official title, Skip, but that's how Kawhi views him. You actually think now that Kawhi is going to take somebody's call when it's been reported that he dodged them, he moved hotels, he didn't want to be bothered with them, that he was going to pick up? This is who Kawhi Leonard is.
Or isn't, but go ahead.
If you think that, no, Skip, this is not an act. He's a quiet man by nature. Now, I've known guys that have been, not like this. Now, I've been around some guys that didn't have a whole lot to say, but they would laugh and joke. Kawhi strikes me, and this is why I also find it odd, Skip, that he wouldn't want to play. He wants to be the star, but Skip, you know what a star comes with, the conversation, talk. You're the face of the team. You got to talk to the media. You trying to sell shoes, you got to be personable. So that's why, as you said, it worked really well when Tim Duncan, because Tim got all the questions.
He did.
He go play with LeBron. Guess who's going to get all the questions? LeBron. He's going to have, now he gets to fall back into a role that he's very, very comfortable with. But this is not surprising with me that Kawhi would not return David Robinson calls, because I don't believe they had that type of relationship that he would have called him in the beginning. So if we don't have that relationship in the beginning, Skip, who's going to be able to call you don't really talk to, and you going through something, they're going to be able to pick up the phone and then call you, you're going to call them back. You're like, I wish I might. I mean, you don't even call your boy. Your boy call.
That is not true.
Jenny,
this is not
Jenny, let me tell you what to do. I will call Skip. He will text me back, you need something. I called you.
Not.
Yeah,
that's a lie.
Yeah.
That is a lie.
I feel bad for you.
It was Saturday. I was on the treadmill. I was dripping sweat. I can't even touch my phone or I'll ruin my phone. I can't even pick it up. If I put it to my ear, it'll get wet.
Just hit speaker like, what's up, old boy, what's up?
I don't like speaker phone. I don't like that. Ernestine does that to me. I said, take it off.
Well, no, that's our phone. Why you?
I don't know.
We need to get him some AirPods.
I don't know who else is listening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else listening. Ain't nobody home but Ernestine. Hazel already know what you're going to be talking crazy.
Yeah. I call Hazel all the time. So, Mr. Sharpe,
yes.
You being the nouveau Laker fan that you are, the bandwagon jumper that you are, does this not concern you about giving Kawhi Leonard a year from now the max contract to come and play in LeBron's shadow?
Oh, it's perfect for me.
Oh, is it?
Because now he gets to fall back into a role that he's very, very comfortable with, which is, although he's a star, but let somebody else take all the questions. Let LeBron answer all those questions. Let Luke Walton, let Magic Johnson.
You trust him?
Trust it.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Be there every night?
Every night. Kawhi.
Yeah. Play through those little knick-knack injuries?
Play through them.
If he takes a knee to the thighs, he's going to say, I'll be there for you, Bron. I'll suck it up and play.
He's going to start wearing that bodysuit like Bron. You know, they got the thigh pads so they don't take the knee to the thigh. That's what he's going to start doing. Okay. I trust Kawhi.
Well, I hate to say this, but I called this from the start. With a month ago in the season, I told you this guy is no longer to be trusted because he just went over the edge. He went AWOL. He went rogue on the classiest organization in the NBA, if not in sports. And we didn't see David Robinson say this, but one of the things he did say yesterday on ESPN was that no team treats its players better than the Spurs have always treated their players. No medical staff in sports is more patient and conservative with injuries than the San Antonio Spurs. And you quit on that team? Really? It's mind-boggling to me.
He said He was hurt.
He took a knee to the thigh, and nobody could find anything wrong with his knee joint or his hip joint or his thigh bone. Nothing wrong.
Tendinosis.
Whatever that is. So I want to just for our younger viewers' sake, I want to put David Robinson in some context. Yeah. He was the Rookie of the Year in the NBA. Unanimous. He was a Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. He was a scoring champion in the NBA, and he was a season MVP in the NBA. So he's got some credentials, right?
Absolutely.
And David Robinson, to me, is the essence of class and character and dignity. And he's probably even a little more beloved and respected in Spurs Nation than Tim Duncan, only because Tim's a little reclusive and a little more quiet than David, not as outspoken as David. David is front and center every night in the third row, 50-yard line. He's there to root for his Spurs. He is the ambassador for the Spurs. He is the mentor to the young players.
Huge in the community.
Okay? He is huge in the community. And if he reaches out, you should reach back. You just have to. If you're that guy, if you have some class and some character, you reach back to him.
But Skip, that's not how Kawhi doesn't look at it like that. Kawhi doesn't look at like an all-time great Spurs reaching out to me. He's looking at it like somebody from the Spurs organization is reaching out to me. Now I can make the case that Tim Duncan is the best player. David Robinson is the second best player.
I'll take Tim Duncan.
Yeah, Tim Duncan won.
I mean, just
Robinson.
me, I'm going to take Manu Ginobili over David Robinson. I just am. Come on. Oh, he's a last shot maker. He's everything LeBron hasn't been. No, he's as clutch as it ever came down the pipe.
David Robinson, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's how Kawhi. You can't look. See, I understand how you're looking at. You're looking at David Robinson is an all-time great Spur. He's tremendous and if an all-time great player. And I would like to think if I were to reach out to Von Miller or reach out to one of the Broncos currently, they would return my call. But they also know that I'm not working for the Broncos. And they know if they call me and something's in confidentiality, that's where it's staying.
Yeah, you could be right about
that. And Kawhi doesn't feel that would be the case.
So David Robinson did say that he talked to Kawhi's uncle.
Yeah.
What have we talked about again and again?
That's who's been doing all the talking.
Uncle took over all of Kawhi's basketball affairs and business affairs, and apparently he's the mouthpiece, but never quoted publicly.
Right.
It's all privately. It's all off the record. Every report that we've seen, Kawhi's going to fall in love with Toronto. That all comes, I'm assuming, from the uncle, because it didn't come from Kawhi, because I don't think he talks to anybody.
No, he doesn't.
Right?
Dennis, I guess general managers and people around the NBA are saying Dennis is becoming a menace because all this stuff.
I called him that.
Yeah. Because the thing is, Skip, is like we get all these sound bites and these quotes here or there, and none of it sounds like Kawhi. None of it sounds like Kawhi talking.
And every other day he loves the Lakers or he loves the Clippers.
He doesn't want to go to Toronto, but I can see him falling in love with Toronto.
He can fall in love with Toronto. Really?
Dude, he spent one night into what?
Yep.
Probably 5 nights because they play the Raptors. That's the only time Kawhi doesn't strike me as a guy that gets to a city and goes sightseeing. So you know what? Let me go to what's the best eatery in town? I'm gonna go graze there. What's the tourist attraction? Let me go see. Kawhi doesn't strike me as that type of guy.
Nope.
We're gonna see. But Skip, I believe that's why Kawhi didn't reach back out to David Robinson. He believed that his conversation would have went back to Popovich, would have went back to R.C. Buford, and he says, you know what, bro? You and I don't have that type of relationship. And if it's somebody, Skip, I don't have a relationship with, I have a relationship with Bond. I have a relationship with Demaryius Thomas.
No, I got it.
So I would,
Have you talked to Demaryius about the Tebow touchdown pass? Or I'm just curious. Did he talk about it? Did he confide in you?
No. No.
I think he did.
I did not. I don't remember.
So if I'm Masai Ujiri, the GM of the Toronto Raptors, and I watch David Robinson on TV say what we just watched, I'm a little shaky here. I'm a little queasy. I'm like, really? This is what I got to deal with?
If it took David Robinson's comments about Kawhi to make you queasy, you should have been queasy long, long before. Because Kawhi have already showed you, Kawhi is not a talker. Kawhi is a doer. Kawhi is a doer. And I told you, Skip, when Tony Parker, I said, let me tell you how he's going to play in the locker room. Now, you and I, that's great fodder. 100 times. I say, but Kawhi's
his injury was 100 times worse because he ruptured his thigh.
It's quadricep. But Kawhi looks at it like, dude, you my teammate. We supposed to be together. And now you're siding with he's going to take that as a personal attack. And then when Coach Popovich says, you know, you got to ask Kawhi's team or medical staff, I said, he has an implosive personality, Skip. You know, some people have that explosive. You know, they go off the handle. Kawhi just bottled it in, just bottles it in, just bottles it in. And then you can only put so much in a bottle before.
The best thing the Raptors did in that trade for Kawhi, they did get Danny Green along with Kawhi. And that was the one spur I believe Kawhi listened to. And I know Danny pretty well, and he is about class and character. So maybe that's your only hope, is that Danny helps bring Kawhi into the Toronto fold and gets him upright again.
Well, they had to bring somebody along so he could have somebody to talk to, because he ain't about to talk to nobody on the team.
You got that right.
I get that he's shy, but isn't it just about a little bit a part of this world that he's in? He should be able to speak for himself.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need others to talk for him. At some point, we need to hear from him.
No,
At some point.
Has he done a
He's
press
not.
conference yet? in
No.
Toronto?
It's time to hear from him.
Did you see him standing with Masai Ujiri and the other guy who's standing there? He didn't look like a guy that was going to be spending a whole lot of time in Toronto.
Nope.
It was like somebody, dude, y'all about to take me to get a root canal.
My question is he ever going to be happy anywhere?
Yeah, he's going to be happy right here in
Oh,
L.A.
right here. Okay. Is there cause for concern in Cleveland after the latest Josh Gordon news? We're going to talk about that coming up next.